Hey everybody, welcome to episode 120 of the Ask Weldon Show, live, recorded from my studio. It's not really a studio, it's just a house, room, office kind of thing got going on here. Anyway, today I'm going to record episode 120 of the Ask Weldon Show, so now is a really good time. Please send in your questions to the Anchor app. Go to anchor.fm/Weldon Green. That's my station. You can download the app on Android or iOS. I'm not sponsored by the app. I'm not, promoting the app or anything like that. It's just that this app has really great features for running a podcast/radio station where you can essentially go to my station. You can click call in the app and you can leave a call in question, and then I can add that question to my station and then answer it in a very easy and fantastic way. And so it's what I use, or that's what I'm using now essentially to do the show live. So please go check it out and leave questions for today. Let me figure out why the chat's not working. Just a sec. Do. Should be working. All right. Somebody say something. Let me know. All right. I'm going to mute that. And let me post some updates on all my channels real quick. Send in your questions now to https://anchor.fm/Weldon Green. Oops, I want to go to Twitter. I'm looking at the chat. Thanks, guys. Appreciate it. Oh, great. My Twitter is two-factor authenticated. I have to wait for the code. Okay, let me just give an update here that I'm going live, that I am live. Live with episode 120 of the Ask Weldon Show. Send in your questions to https://FM/Weldon Green. Tweet. Okay. Now, my problem is that Facebook chat doesn't integrate very well, and because my computer is slow as molasses, I can't really keep Facebook kind of open on my computer. So I apologize to everybody who's watching me on my Facebook stream, but I will do my best to answer at least Twitch and YouTube. Bo says, "Hi, Dad," and I say hello to you. Florian says, "Is it fair to say that NA teams are better in dealing with tilt because at Rift Rivals we saw that EU teams after the first day were clearly tilted?" Yeah, I think that in North America in general has better infrastructure and a lot more sports psychology training and better coaching all around. So there's just more at stake in terms of putting out performance. So I think a lot of EU teams, like, the owners are kind of absent, whereas a lot of NA teams, the owners are like sitting there asking you guys to perform, and the pressure mounts, and the desire to show up for the management is really there. It matters more. So that is that's probably a small consideration. CLG sucked this series versus Dig. Yeah, I saw some of those games. There were some pretty moments, but I especially liked the first few minutes of the TSM versus P1 game 2. The first few minutes of game 2 of P1 versus TSM, where they had that like really interesting level 1 that got a lot of vision, and they got some really good camp starts for their Gragas, and then they managed to they would have interrupted the early jungling if P1 didn't cover, and then they had the ward timing on the Rek'Sai invade, and Hanser pulled his lane nicely so that he could use his ward on the... Yeah, it was just like all around, it was just really nice. It's really good planning. I liked that. By the way, if you're watching right now, you should... Hey, Kazukas, thanks for testing. If you're watching right now, you should turn on the notifications for my channel, which basically, let's see, if you're on Twitch, I think that it's the little like grind key. Hang on, let me open a Twitch channel and see how it is you turn on app notifications for your phone when I'm live, because I turn that on my favorite channels, and it's a huge boon to making sure that I don't miss when people go live. Like I have it on Double Lift's channel, you know, every single time it goes live, it gives me a little phone notification. So I like it. All right. Oh, you just, by the heart where you're following my channel, you just click the little drop-down menu. You can turn on notifications there. And it will notify you when I, on mobile, email and web, when I go live on Twitch. So make sure you do that. You can do the same thing on YouTube. You just click the bell underneath my stream, or under, you know, by the subscribe button. There's a subscribe button and a bell. And the bell tells you notification. So make sure to do that, because I'm going to be doing a lot more like IRL streams from my phone to either my YouTube or my Twitch, where I'm basically going to, yeah, like, you know, stream it in inopportune times, you know, in airports for like 45 minutes live. So if you want to catch that 45-minute live stream in an airport, then it's a really good idea to have notifications on. SKT could not win a single game since Rift Rivals. Do you think the coaches haven't studied patch 7.13 enough? I think that the top 3 teams went to Rift Rivals, right? So there's no excuse for any of them to kind of like they're losing to the bottom 7 teams. So I to be honest, perfectly honest, just haven't watched the games. But it's okay for SKT to lose games. It's fine. Bonesy says, as mainly a CSGO player, do you think that some of the concepts you talk about can be incorporated into CSGO learning? Yeah, every single one of them, 100%. I mean, the stuff that I train and the stuff that I teach is from sport psychology and really from performance psychology. It has to do with human learning in high pressure situations and in performance environments. It's used by the military for soldiers, so of course it applies to CSGO performance. Kazukas asks, since China won against Korea and NA won against EU, will Worlds be on an equal level? Unlikely. Unlikely. It's very likely that China and Korea will be towards the top and NA and EU will be towards the bottom, because that is how it is shaking out, essentially, right now. Or TSM will win it all. G2 can get second, though. Not to TSM. If it's G2 versus TSM final, G2 is going to win. But if it's G2 SKT final, SKT probably will pull it out. If you can't tell how much I'm memeing you guys, you really need to like learn to read my sarcasm. Man, that water was refreshing. Bonesy says, thank you for answering. Love the podcast and the videos. Keep up your amazing work you do for esports. Well, that wasn't really a question, but I'm glad that I read it out loud. Today I ran a triathlon, guys. So I swam like 500 meters or something. Biked around a lake. I am exhausted. My face is red. I think I'm like sunburned. But anyway, and then I ran around the same lake. Good day, Nara. So, boy, am I tired. But here I am recording for you a new show. So let me actually just dive into it. I'm trying to figure out how to. Maybe I can output to my phone. Let me see here. Output device. Nope, I can't. So maybe I just record it? Record audio to files? Yeah. One second. Delete. TSM looks very solid right now, so no sarcasm detected. They will win Worlds this year for sure. Right, so I'm going to record the audio of my questions and then put it into my phone, maybe using computer output. Let's try that. All right, but first, let me turn on my camera and start getting set up to record this first question. Remember that when I'm actually answering the question, I'm going to kind of stare into my camera so that I have good. Looks good to me, I think. Yeah, it's focused on my face. Wait, this is way too high ISO. That's way too low. Decent. 1 second, guys, I'm adjusting the ISO on my camera to be pretty. And that is not pretty. So we'll go with this one. It looks well lit and bright. Okay, what do we have here? Ooh, somebody just called in my station. Yeah. Okay, let's listen to question number 1 together, and then I will answer it for all time. Question 1. Ooh, okay, let me try to set this up so it's streaming it. Hang on. Goodbye, chat. Add window capture. Get this little QuickTime video. Where is it? There it is. Sorry, everybody. Okay. I wonder if this will actually catch the audio. Let me see. Let me see if the audio is caught. Nope, you guys can't hear that. Also, I can't hear that. So, una segundo. Wait. Okay. How do I make it so that y'all can hear the audio from this QuickTime window? 1 second. Add audio capture, audio input capture. Yes. Nothing. Oh, I know. I need to capture system audio. Oh, you can't do that on Mac OS. So I need to open up Loopback, and I need to create like an audio loop from QuickTime to OBS. So 1 second. I need to create a virtual audio device. Do 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 do. The yawning is just because, like I said, I did a triathlon today, and it's midnight because I stayed up for... What? I can't capture audio from QuickTime? This does not make any sense. This doesn't make any sense. A, B, C, D, E, F, G. N, O, P, Q. Oh, okay, I can. That was weird. I don't know why I wasn't showing. Okay. Nope. There. All right, let's try this again. Why is it doubling the sound on my mic? Black Gator Coaching, what is your Anchor app name? I'll look for it. This is weird. I set up the loopback to capture audio from QuickTime, sending it to OBS, but OBS is just taking the mic information a second time. Weird. Let me try it again. I'll just try it one more time. Maybe it'll work this time. Nope. Son of a... something. Wait, I have a robo voice? Okay, well... that's annoying. Test, test, test. Nope. It's not taking it either. Just a sec, let me look Black Stater. Oh. Just got 2 calls into my station. I don't know why it's not on there. Let me see here. Maybe you called in a different day or something, and I already answered it. Have you checked? Test, test. Let me try to grab it from VLC. VLC usually plays friendlier with literally everything that exists. So I can try to grab the audio from VLC and maybe it'll work. Yeah, the camera's always gonna lag. I don't have like a good camera or anything, or good internet, or good, you know, basically anything. Test. I think I need to restart OBS, but I don't want to do that because the Facebook stream will die. So it's not the camera lagging, guys. It's the computer lagging, and the camera's fine. The computer sucks. So you just need to... I've been streaming like literally a month with a laggy camera. How has this not penetrated yet? Should I change the name of my camera, my stream, to like a laggy camera stream or something? Does it really matter in actuality? Since you should be listening to me, not talking. VLC. All right, I really need to restart OBS, but I'm afraid of losing the Facebook stream. Black Gator Coaching, I'm not sure you can buy me a new computer by yourself. And when you say let's, if I look at the dashboard real quick, there are 25 people watching. So I'm not sure that you can get me a new computer with 25 people. But sorry, I had to mute my phone there. Requirements you need to support your family. Pablo Deb says, my phone broke, but I have an interesting question. It's just slightly lengthy, written-wise, but nothing too crazy at all, like 400 characters. Yeah, but I'm not going to answer it unless it's audio on my radio station, Pablo Debs, because that's what I'm all about right now. So, Savick, it's not that I have salary requirements to reach my to support my family. It's that the salary requirements to have my wife, make sense for my wife to quit her career, which is not sensible. What do I think about the third wave feminist movement that is plaguing America? I think that that's a very loaded question since you used the word plaguing. So we kind of already know what you think about it. How can I get this to frickin' all right, let me try that. Audio input capture. Oh, maybe I need to do audio output capture. Duh. I'm an idiot, you guys. I'm an idiot. I can't believe it. I'm a moron. I was doing audio input capture instead of audio output capture. Problem solved. Opening up VLC. Audio output capture. Heh. It's not working. As a hardcore TSM fan, I really appreciate the work you did. I hope to see you again. Thanks, Kutuputz. Audio is amazing. Who cares about the video? Thanks, Haxor. On a scale of 1 to cucked, how liberal you are. I'm asking because you had such, Savik says, I'm asking because you had such a profound impact on TSM. As a fan of the org, I would love to see you back with the Bay Lifers. Hacksaw says, well, thank you so much. I've been watching your videos and started to improve my game. Awesome. Fantastic. Ooh, Makan. Yo. What is your zodiac sign? Do you believe in zodiac signs? No, I don't believe in zodiac signs. Why would... I'm almost insulted that you think that I would believe in zodiac signs. But I don't really care about people who do believe in zodiac signs. More power to you. If you do, just go rocking that belief in zodiac signs. Mr. Bad boy you. How do I open the screen more? There we go. Do, 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 do. Okay, tried it again, should work this time. Okay, great. Still cannot get the audio to work with audio capture. So totally weird. Browser source. VLC video source. No way. Stop when not visible, pause when not visible. Oh, wait, it'll just loop it. Darn. Okay. Add files. Yes, I can add a VLC video. Oh, but it's not going to play the sound. I already know it's not going to play the sound. Don't I know that? Huh. Okay. Virgo. No, I'm sorry. I'm not going to read about my sign. I sent in an audio question. Can you answer, please? I'm trying to answer the audio questions, Adam, but I want you guys to be able to hear the audio questions on stream. And for some reason, like when I play this, check this out. Check this out. I'm going to capture this. You'll see media player. Okay. Okay, now I'm going to play. One sec. Okay. See, you can't hear it. Right? So I want you guys to be able to hear the question. Black Gator Coaching says, well, my question is, how do you suggest dealing with someone who's toxic towards his teammates in solo queue and 5v5's ranks? His skill is superior compared to his opponents, but his main issue is attitude. Are you duo queuing with him, or doesn't make sense? Oh, 5v5 ranked. So you're playing with him on a team. I don't know, man. It depends on why you're playing. Or why you're playing with him. So if you have a reason, then you have a reason. If you don't, then you don't. It's kind of like the ends justify the means in that case. Gosh. All right. Let me go to my Facebook and make sure that dude, stop worrying about seeing your question or not. I recorded this video, this screen capture on my phone like 2 hours ago, 3 hours ago. So unless you submitted your question 3 hours ago, it's not going to show up on a screen capture I did of my phone 3 hours ago. Chill out. I'm going to go to my videos. Okay, I have one that's live here. I can open it. Chill. Okay. Out. No, it's not my internet connection.
My videos.
Okay, I have one that's live here.
Not just the camera.
Like I said, open it hundreds of times in the last month. It's my camera, and I'm not going to change the name of my stream to I have a bad computer. Sorry, it's my computer. I have a
no, it's not my
internet connection.
Videos. Okay, I have one that's live here.
Wait, just the camera.
What's that sound
like I said, open it hundreds of times in the last month. Is it working? Sorry, it's my computer. I have a
no.
Do you think Riot will ever split from Tencent after franchising happens? Riot is owned from Tencent by Tencent. They can't split by them. They are them. And franchising's already happened in China, and they didn't split then. So install and quit. Okay. All right, you guys. I'm gonna restart OBS. Paul. Sorry. Welcome for your first time live here. Congratulations. You now know that I have a crappy computer. It's just that every single time there's like 7 new people, and they all say the same exact thing. Okay. Let's see how fast I can quit OBS and restart to get the audio engine corrected so that I can actually pull audio in for the questions. You guys ready for this? Oh, this is funny because you're like literally the only person now back in the stream. Buy a new one? Sure, Adam. Send me a bunch of money. I'll happily buy a new computer. Yeah, the reason I don't have a new computer is because I haven't bought one yet. Ha 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 ha. Okay. Okay, this should work. Channel mapping. Manual, automatic, mute audio sources. Alrighty, let's see if this works. Please work. Why do I have so many applications running? This is annoying. It's probably why my computer sucks. Alrighty. I'm climbing ELO on 30 FPS, talking about bad computers. Everything is set to low spec, currently Plat 2. Yeah, well, you should climb high on a bad computer because then you get a new one, you can actually play good, right? That's how it's supposed to work. All right. No. It's not working. Guess I gotta hold it up to the mic. Sucks. All right. All right, here we go. Guys ready for the first one? I want to turn up the volume first.
Hey Weldon, before I get to my question, I just want to say thank you for visiting the University of Minnesota last year, and it was awesome meeting up with you. Now to my question. So I usually have a one-trick mindset. I one-trick Reaper in Overwatch, I one-trick Glass in Rainbow Six Siege, and I just play the support role in League of Legends. Now, I recently discovered a video from LS, and he was saying that support players who just made support are pretty bad in general, and will have a hard time climbing the ladder in ranked. My question is, would you suggest opening up, or for me to open up to other roles, or do you think I should keep with my core strengths and just focus on maining support? I've personally had great success with support role, but I want to see what you think. Thank you.
Okay, thanks for the question, Kevin. This is really based on like your personal preference of where it is that you want to be in 5-6 months and what you get out of the game. So you really have to delve into the reasons that you play League of Legends in your life. Like, what urges are you satisfying? What satisfying moments are you seeking? And figuring out if those can be adapted to based on switching roles or not. So if there's something about the support role in particular that for you brings you joy, for me, for example, whenever I play a game, I try to handicap myself as much as possible. I play, the tank paladin when tank paladins weren't a thing, or I play like the shadow priest before shadow priests were actually good, and I do all sorts of things to like make sure that I have an excuse and a reason and a supportive way to like essentially be a team player and carry in that way. So if that is what brings me joy, therefore that is what I do to seek joy. And so, Kevin, for you, if there's nothing particularly special about the support role, which is the reason that you play the game, then you can very simply just, hot swap it out and get good at something else, and that's not a problem. But if there's something unique about the support role that is the reason that you play the game, then you're really cutting into your actual motivation when you swap. You're slicing into the why that you have around what you're doing. And then that will cause you to be much worse than you would be if you focused on what you're doing. So the answer is, what motivates you most about League of Legends and playing League of Legends and playing with this particular person? And if the answer is that there's nothing particularly important about support, then it's fairly easy to switch and keep your motivation really, really high. But if it's something about that experience in and of itself that is like intrinsically, powerfully motivating to you, then you're going to be missing out on the sacrifice and the focus and the zeal that you would have when you were playing that role in the first place. So that is my suggestion. I wonder how I should get these on the... Who's the best team you've worked with? Oh. Weldon, are you also answering general questions concerning real life? Yes, I am. Who's the best team I've worked with? G2. Paul, okay, I play first AD carry, but because I can't find a support who knows what to do in my division, I switched role. Now I'm a low ELO, to be honest, hard to climb. Let me scroll up here. Hi, Weldon, like you're welcome, thanks. But sounds like a robot now? This is lame. Yeah, what is the best way to get more confident? Best way to get more confident is to stop worrying about confidence. Confidence has nothing to do with how you play. Competence is important. Confidence is just how much you actually believe you can pull it off, but it doesn't have anything to do with whether or not you can pull it off. I'm not a coach or anything related, just a player. What I did was tell him, you change your attitude or I don't play with you anymore, and it actually worked for me. I mean, if it's true, then it's true. If it's not, then it's not. And if it motivates him, then it will. Hi, Weldon, big fan of your content. Wanted to ask you, what do you recommend me doing when I fall in performance slump? I usually last 2 weeks. Then suddenly I start playing well, okay, again. I don't think that is tilt, maybe a little bit. Try to stay focused even though I'm not doing well. Morch, you should submit that question to my anchor station, and then I will answer it. Oh, I see that doesn't work because the team wants to keep him. Tyrone asks, are you in Finland? Yes, I am. You're doing great. Just run through the call-ins. All the audio is amazing. Okay, I'm going to answer this question again on the station because I totally forgot. So 1 second. Okay, let me record this. This is just for you guys, you streamers, and then the thing. Okay, Kevin, the answer to this question has a lot to do with your why of why it is that you play League of Legends in the first place. So you have to really dig into your personal motivation of what you're seeking when you queue up for the game. If it's escapism or the feeling of the pursuit of mastery or a particular aspect of the support role or a particular aspect of playing with a certain person or a certain type of experience in game where you're the underdog and climbing your way up, or whether you're backbreakingly overpowered and you're crushing noobs, so there's something about the game that motivates you to the extreme, and these are the things that you have to kind of be attuned to when you try to understand what and why you want to play the game. So what and why and how you want to play the game. So if the question is, do I switch support role? The answer is you have to look at your context and determine if there's something unique or special about that role that for you is going to kill essentially all of the reason that you play, which means that your performance is going to suffer mightily when you swap it out, and you're just going to get less joy. But if you actually get joy out of some other aspect of the game, then yes, your performance is going to suffer when you hot swap roles, because you're just not going to be as good as somebody who's full and focused. But that's just a temporary thing, and in the meanwhile, you'll be experiencing joy in the game because it's independent of the experiences that you get as a support player. So my suggestion to you is to do a lot of self-reflection and really analyze what it is that for you is the most fun kind of thing that happens in the game, and then you can answer the question for yourself. As far as like, oh, will my performance decrease? Oh, will this happen? Yeah, of course your performance will decrease, and of course it'll take a while to spin up a new role, but those things don't really matter in the long run. What matters in the long run is why it is that you're playing the game in the first place and how well that fits. Okay, guys, remember next time I do a question to actually record here too, so that I get the audio. Find your motivation for playing the game. The game. Period. Add to station. Okay, let's do the next call-in question, guys. Okay, this one's from Rocky. Y'all ready?
So this is gonna sound a little crazy, Weldon. I was sitting here listening to some words of wisdom from E, the hip hop preacher. And, I was starting to feel a little motivated and stuff. But as I'm feeling it, this is usually about the time when I sleep. But then all of a sudden, I really wanted to get up and train. And I seem to have this thought a lot where it's like I want to give up sleep to train, and I'm never sure technically what's the right option, because part of me is like I need to get sleep so I can train better tomorrow, but then another part of me is like I need to do that extra bit of grind. I need to push that more. I need to do that one more game. I got to outwork my competition type of thing. So I want to know your opinion.
Okay. All right, Rocky, this is a really tough question because I'm a horrible person to ask about this. I always stay up and I always do the extra game or go running late at night when I shouldn't, or cheat on my diet. That's kind of a side thing. But I am of the opinion that depending on your age, sleep is far more important than any training you could get done. So I would essentially bank on the fact that esports is going to age up, and I would play the long game, And I would say get the sleep, because if you're under the age of 25, sleep is literally like the most crucial thing that you can bank. And you're going to need a lot less sleep later in life after the age of 27 when your body is not under such massive duress to mature and grow. And I think that like you should always start by auditing the things that you're doing in the day before you actually give up sleep. You should try to cut out escapism. You should try to cut out, hobbies that you feel like aren't conducive to your end goal. You should try to cut out relationships that you feel like aren't going to pay out in the long run, and maybe build other ones. Don't just cut out all relationships. But I think that we waste a lot of time during the day that we could otherwise recapture for training, and then we use the excuse of that to stay up later at night. And in my opinion, if you train the skill of setting aside other stuff in the day and disciplining yourself, and when I do it, I discipline myself too, like essentially doing less nonsense during the day in order to get that training, then you learn a skill that is much more powerful later in life, and much better than just setting aside sleep in order to train an extra game. So that would be my preference, is that you figure out where you can cut 60 minutes out of your day from what you're already doing, and then sleep for that extra game. If you're feeling super, super motivated, what I would do is, first of all, get in touch with that emotion. Be like, okay, that's an emotion. And I would journal, because your mind's going to be racing. I would write down what you're feeling and why you really want to stay focused and train before you go to bed, and commit that to an action in the next day. And then when you get to that point in the next day, if you can't master yourself, and if you find yourself doing something that is useless or escapism or suboptimal, you go back to that journal entry and you try to recapture that feeling. So that's my really practical suggestion on how to translate that emotion to another time, and then get the sleep that you need if you're maturing and growing still, which is really important for a young body. Why you should sleep. Why you should sleep and recapture wasted time elsewhere. Okay. Sounds like this dude is an antsy ADHD kid who is suffering from boredom in bed at night, smoke a joint and jerk off. No, he's not really like that. Rocky is actually pretty committed and really excellent at optimization. He's been doing it for a while. Shiage says, "Hey Weldon, is it possible to have a curse to be always fourth place in tournaments?" No. Jeremigo. Wow, who's this pretty little man on my computer screen? Okay, I think I'm caught up on the comments. You guys ready for the next question? This one's from Mike Sampson. Here we go.
Hey Weldon, I've recently made it to Diamond for the first time, but I've carried myself this far using only my mechanics. My ward score is only between 2 and 5 a game, and my map awareness is atrocious. Do you have any advice for how I can start to drill this?
Okay, let me add Mike to the station. All right. Now let's record. Okay, Mike, good news. You can climb a lot higher if you start working on other skills. That's fantastic. I really like getting somewhere only on mechanics, because that means that you can expand your ability. I really like, for example, when Biofrost came into TSM with only playing a certain number of hours a day, because then when we augmented his number of hours that he was training, he skyrocketed in terms of his skill level. So leveling up and getting a high rank with a handicap is, or with a limited skill set is fantastic, because then when you expand your repertoire, you actually can climb and grow. So my suggestion for warding and for map awareness would be you need some sort of trigger to remind yourself to look at the minimap. So if I was going to do posture correction, I would suggest something like put a sign or a post-it note or dangle something in every single door frame of your house, or put like something on your lock screen of your phone. So every single time you look at your phone, you remind yourself, oh, fix my posture. Every time you walk through a doorway in your house, oh, fix my posture. And then that kind of starts expanding out of that sphere. So you need to find something in the game, like maybe a pop-up that you have to disable, and like that you have to alt-tab from, and every single time you alt-tab away from it, you check the minimap. Or maybe you set your phone to ding every few, like 15 seconds or something, or 20 seconds or 30 seconds. And then every single time you do that, you look at the minimap. Another thing you can do is try to predict the jungler. So you're always looking where the jungler is and predicting everything they're doing on the map while also trading and CSing in lane. Okay, so you're trying to expand that. And your performance is going to suffer when you start focusing on the minimap. So just take that as a given. And then the warding thing really depends on your position on the map, because you should have a plan. It's really useless to just throw out wards. You want to have effective wards. You want to have wards that see people at a certain time in a certain place. So this is a studying thing. You need to pick like whatever position you are, and you need to look at the LCS. You need to look at what wards they put when, and then just start placing them. And remember that they skip a lot of early wards, like they skip a lot of the cheesy, like 1 minute, 50 second, 2 minute gank kind of wards that you're actually going to have to put in solo queue. Excuse me. I ran a triathlon today, so I'm a little yawny. But in solo queue, you're going to have to put those. But in the objective warding game, you can just simply steal that layout from the teams that you're watching. And then the rest of it is just remembering to buy wards when you go back to base. Simply always have a maximum stack of 3 pink wards or control wards or whatever you want to call them whenever you leave base after the 15-minute point. Like, nuke your economy to make sure that you're always carrying those 3 wards and just work with that reality. Also, you can play a stint of support like for a few weeks and just like always buy the control, you know, the vision stone or whatever it's called nowadays, and carry it around and stick wards everywhere. Try to think of other tactics. I think jungle works as well. Obviously, you can just go with the, you know, the warding smite and figure out where that goes. But this is a much tougher thing, because I don't want you to just drop wards everywhere. I want you to actually study where wards are placed and then go into the game with an idea of that's where you want to put it, and then go and actually put it there. So make that your commitment. But as far as the mini-map, you need a reminder. And then it needs to become muscle memory, and you need to get that muscle memory trained up over the course of 2 or 3 days with like a constant reminder. And then after that, you won't need it anymore, and you'll be checking the mini-map a lot. Checking it in a fight is a lot tougher, but forgive yourself if you don't actually check it well in a fight, because not a lot of people can. Minimap and ward sensing. Add to station. Whew. You guys, I'm so freaking tired. It's like I'm competed over 50K today or something. I don't know. Haxor asks, Weldon, I heard for climbing it's bad to have a big champ pool, and I get bored of playing one champ. Is it really better to master a few champs than play a lot? Here's what I would recommend for people in your situation. Master a type of champ. Play every assassin. Play every tank. And don't play different styles, because everything you learn about team fighting and intertwining in a fight and how it is that you play the map and whether or not you're split pushing or not is a lot more similar than if you play a different class of champion. So play a class of champion and pick any champion you want in that class as long as you play with the same style. Make sense? Hey, Patrick, welcome. Glad that you catch it live. Sorry about the camera. Obviously, it's my computer is bad, and that's just the long and short of it. All right. Let's dive into the next question. I'm going to pause this recording. I don't need this anymore now that I'm recording it into the mic. Delete this block. Okay. Did you get the fiber connection? No, I didn't. Sucks, but I didn't. It's still coming. I gotta call them. All right. Here we go. Next question from Joseph. All right, let's hear what you have to say.
Hey everybody, this is my question. How do you deal with someone who is offensive towards his teammates in solo queue, which is holding him back from improving and focusing on his own mistakes? Thank you.
Okay, added to my station. All right, let me flop over to the recorder. All right, Joseph. So first, I would ask whether or not you need to concern yourself with this at all. So step one, should you just ignore the situation completely? It's not your problem, and learn how to not be bothered by other people who are not woke and have low levels of self-control and emotional resilience and can't handle it. Why are you associating with them, and why are you making their problems your problems? That's step one. Okay, now let's say it's a given that either this is your brother or your dearest friend or a teammate that you're stuck with. Then the question is, what is it that they want and what is it that you want? So if you're a teammate, you need to look at your ambitions. So like, is it that you want to win the game? Then you need to say the thing that they need to hear to win the game. Maybe you're not going to change them. Maybe you need to be like, yeah, you're right, dude. That guy sucks. Oh, and then they feel better. And then they play the game with focus, right? And then you win the game, even though you're not necessarily helping them develop. Now let's say it's a given that you are their coach and you want to help them develop. So this is then again, I think, the point of your question, which is how do you help them develop? Which, by the way, is kind of like a selfish ask because you just kind of want to feel good or tell them that they're wrong or something like that. So make sure your motivation, your intent is clear. If your intent is not selfish, if it's centered on them, then this is going to work much better. But if your intent is that you want them to hear what it is that you have to say because you want them to hear what you have to say about them, and you want to appear superior to them because you can handle the emotions and they can't, that is the incorrect intent with which to drive into the situation, and anything that you say is going to be much less useful to them. So clear away your intent. Make sure that you are actually focused on this. Okay, so now let's say it's a given that your intent is pure and you're there to help them develop and all the things, these things kind of like are above water. Okay, so one of the best things that you can do is construct a journey wherein they discover that the problems that exist are inherent within themselves, and that is contextual based on every single person's level of emotional maturity. But one of the best ways to kind of start that journey is to focus on recording the VODs and recording the comms, and then trying to find in every single situation that the player was in a controllable element that they could have done better, and helping them see that particular thing. And then in terms of like leading their teammates, people aren't mandated to lead their teammates. So you have to ask them, like, do you really want to win the game or not? And the answer might be that they don't really care that much to win the game. But if they do, then they have to tell their teammates what their teammates want to hear or need to hear instead of what they want to say. So that is kind of like a way of them proving that their motivation is actually real. They actually do want to win the game more than they want to cuss the guy out or tell him he's a loser, and feel that satisfaction. So you confront them with the hard reality and the hard truth that, like, if they do that, if they say the thing that they want to say, then they don't really actually want to win the game. Get that? They don't really actually want to win the game more than they want to say their piece. So that's just truth, you know. So you have to get them to that point where they accept that they don't really want to win the game that bad. They'd rather have the satisfaction of cussing their teammate out. So yeah, long and short of it is confront them about their actual motivation and whether or not it exists. And then number 2, help them essentially see what steps they could take in every single situation that is controllable and that they can use to advance the game kind of in any way. And that gives them something else to do besides playing their teammates. I hope that is helpful. Maybe just stop playing with them. Add to station. Is it worth transferring from EU West to EU Northeast? Don't know. Being bothered by toxic players comes from being insecure. Solution: first fight your father. Yeah, that's one thing. Wish there was a vote kick on LOL. Hope all is well. I've messaged through Snapchat and Twitter before asking a few questions. Recent was about the academic articles. Just want to say thanks again. Sniper, you're welcome. Hi. Nice to see you. I had a normal question. I always create plans. This is from Shiaged. On that day, what do I play that week, etc.? I track my CS, first 3 mistakes in the game, something like that. Stop to do it after 2 to 3 days. Is there any way to fix this thing? Like, I would have better discipline about this and do it after every game, not just throw it away. Shiage, if you're not doing it, it's because you're not motivated by it. So either you want to be the best or you don't. It's pretty binary. If you do, then you're gonna work on your explicit learning system, and you're gonna find ways of making goals, and you're gonna not want to do it because you're tired and bored, and you're like, I just want to play, but you're gonna do it anyway. And that's just the long and short of it. So if you're not doing it, then you might not be as motivated by the game as you think. I have a very fatalistic view of discipline, which is that if you're disciplined about something, that means you're really motivated by it. And if you're not disciplined about it, then you probably don't want it as bad as you think you want it. So tell yourself that. Forgive yourself for not wanting it that badly, and then decide if you actually want it that badly, and start living out that actual ambition in action. Okay. Camelia says that he's not going to use my Anchor app to ask this question and says he's going to type it in Twitch chat. I'm so mean. All right. Joseph, I'm going to skip your second question because I feel bad that other people are getting asked questions. So let me listen to Andy's question. Here we go.
Hey Weldon, so my question is, what in your opinion is the best learning style to improve within a game? This could be across any game. Do you think it's more beneficial to play less games and look at the demos and spot mistakes and spot patterns that you could do that are wrong? Or do you believe that playing more games to get the more experience would give you a better sort of learning and sort of step up your game to become better? Anyway, thanks for producing all the content you do, and thanks for answering the question.
All right, this is a great question, and I appreciate the call in. So the core of this question is, oops, let me actually record it. Okay, this is a great question, Andy, and I appreciate the call in. The core of this question is really just quantity or quality, right? And I've talked about this recently in that I think it's better to pursue quantity over quality if you're playing the long game. So if you are essentially saying, I'm going to go pro, and when I go pro, they're going to pay me to stop doing everything else I'm doing, and I'm going to get a plus 6 hour bonus every day of my games played. Like, I'm literally just going to sit around and play every single day, all day. So if you are really good explicit learning and learning processes, and you're really good at learning efficiently with a few games, then what's going to happen when you go pro and when you get your extra 6 hours a day unlocked is that you're going to go through the roof in terms of your performance. And you're also going to be able to fit in a lot more like optimizable hobbies, things like going to the gym and nutrition and cooking and relationships and stuff like that are going to benefit your pro play. So I'm always a fan of working on your systems and your goal setting and your mindfulness and your emotional resilience and your study of the game and your VOD review and like picking apart your play, because all of these skills are transferable skills and they work whether you play 1 game or whether you play 7 games. If you simply increase your volume, you're going to get better, but you're not going to expand your explicit learning. You're going to be more relying on your implicit learning, which is the thing that we all use to get to the elite level anyway. It's fine, but it's just not as powerful in my opinion as coming in as a full package. So my recommendation is pretty black and white and clear cut. It's that you should always focus on quantity over quality. The main exception being if you're trying to go pro now. If you're playing the short-term game and you need to get the last hump out and you're plateauing and you're like, I really need to get challenger, I really need to get, top level in CSGO or Overwatch or whatever, because off-season's coming in 4 months and I need to be top-ranked ladder so I can be scouted. Then the answer is volume is the only way to go, because that is the surefire way to get better is volume training. And I say the word training, not volume playing lots of games mindlessly and ingraining bad habits, but training with volume, which means challenging and questioning yourself and seeing every single move you make as improvable and really criticizing those so that you're not just kind of like going through the motions and building a bunch of bad habits. I hope that was helpful, and good luck. Whew. Take the Myers-Briggs test. You don't have to. You can ignore that silly test. Add this to your station. Quantity over quality. I like that rant a lot. Okay. Next question is from Adem. What is mindfulness and how can I use it to control tilt? Mindfulness is awareness of what emotions are driving your behavior. And you can use mindfulness, or you do mindfulness training in a seated posture, or you can do it when you're active or when you're playing or whatever. You should think of seated training of mindfulness as like going to the gym and weightlifting, and you should think of mindfulness when you're playing or walking as like body weight training when you're standing in line at the store. So it's more effective if you know what you're doing, if you spend a few weeks in the gym to kind of get that base level of strength, sorest. So you can go to Tara Brach's website, B-R-A-C-H, Tara, first name, and she has a bunch of free mindfulness scripts of all sorts of stripes. Headspace.com has the free 10-day trial or 10-episode trial, and then you pay. My program on mindfulness, called the Mindfulness Acceptance Commitment Program, is 50 video trainings for, I think, $25 or euros right now on mindgames.gg/MAC, and it's mindfulness-based seated training wrapped in like a lecture before and after around the concepts of acceptance and commitment. So there you go. I used it, Anchor, but I'm not sure if I send it. Sorry to bother you, Camelius. I'm new to the app. Yes, everybody's new to the app. It only just started being useful and good. All right. Joseph sent his question again. Not sure if I should try it again. Let me go to Adam's question here. All right. Here we go, everybody.
Hey, Weldon. I was just thinking about the social interaction limitations on every sort of esports game out there, like League of Legends. You have an all chat that's sort of free. In CSGO, you have full-on just VoIP. In, I think, HOTS, you have more of a safe space, so to speak. And I was just wondering, looking at the types of players of each game, do you have any comments on that? because like you look at CS:GO players and they're a bit more sort of extroverted. League of Legends are a bit introverted, so to speak. And I was just wanting to have your comments on that. Thanks.
Okay, let me add this to my station. All right, Adam, this is a really interesting question, and I'm so glad you asked it because it digs into a lot of like cool questions. So let me reframe the question. Essentially, you're saying, do the chat protocols in each game cause differences in personality and how the players of that game act? Or you're asking, are the chat protocols in each game derivatives of the communities that play that game? And the answer is probably no to both of them, to be perfectly realistic and scientific about this. People are attracted to a game for the gameplay, not the communication options. The social experience of playing the game happens through the game itself primarily. And when you layer up the social interaction, like typically the only thing that matters is the degree or the distance from anonymity and impact on your life of the communication. So people have one style of communication when they're completely anonymous and what they say has zero impact on their life, and people have another style of communication when the anonymity is reduced and what they say matters and has an impact on their life and their ability to enjoy the game. So I would look more at the systems in the game as like the distance from anonymity to not anonymity, which, by the way, voice is a more personal way of expressing expressing yourself, and you're like less anonymous when you use voice because you can literally hear it. You know, it's not just text emitting from your brain. And secondly, you know, like there's this aspect of repercussions and the reality of repercussions, and when those exist and they're randomized and they're harsh, then they have an impact on what people say and what people and how people think about communication. And when they aren't, then there's anonymity, which is like the death of moral communication or communication with a purpose that doesn't have like illegitimate trolls running around in it. So yeah, I don't think the style matters as much in terms of the community's identity or their personalities that derive from playing the game with that style of communication. VoIP versus text only in esport games. Okay. Wow, did my chat die? What happened? Nobody has said anything for like 5 whole minutes. Interesting. Okay. Shall we do another question? Oh no, I didn't add. Oh, maybe I did add his to the thing.
Hey everybody, this is my question. How do you deal with someone who's so toxic? My question is, how do you deal with someone who is so...
Okay, so we got those squared away. Clear this colon. Okay, clear this colon. All right, Black Gator, if I didn't answer if you had actually 2 questions, send in the question again. Yes, I know my webcam is lagging DOS cold. It's actually not my webcam, it's my computer. I have a horrible computer. Can you use Anchor on the PC? It says not compatible on my Android. Nope. Sorry. All right, here we go. Last question that I have right now.
Hello, Weldon. I have problems with consistency and focus. I play on semi-professional level, and this happens in team games as well. Or like it happens in solo queue as well. In Best of Freeze, I usually pop off the first game. Like I talk a lot, I shot call a lot, and I think a lot, and I think I play really good. And then the second and third game in Best of Freeze, I become a lot of weaker player, and I rarely talk, even though I'm shot caller. I feel like this is very bad, and I would love to find energy to be consistent the whole Best of Freeze and Best of Fives. Do you have any suggestions for me, please?
Ooh, I like this question. Okay, Camille. All right, I really like this question. Thank you, Camille, for answering it. So the answer is twofold. There's two approaches to take when you are trying to increase your energy and your focus and find a way to carry through the next two games in a competitive best of three. Number one, you need to move past the energy needed to do it. So your question was, how do I find the energy to do the things I need to do? And the answer is, you do them even if you don't have the energy. Okay? You find the willpower to essentially conduct the behaviors which you have volitional control over, despite the fact that you don't feel like doing them and don't want to do them. So you know which behaviors it is that you need to do. Okay? And essentially what you need to do is you need to really connect with your values. Like, in 90 years when you die and people are at your funeral and they write on your tombstone what kind of CSGO player you were, or whatever sport you're playing, what are they going to say about how it is that you lived out your mission in the game, how it is that you played the game, how it is that you played on your team? Who are you like as a teammate? So you need to connect with those kind of values over and above the temporary and fleeting emotional and motivational energy that you use to do the behavior. So you are very emotional driven, and you need to be values driven or goal driven. So first step, map the behaviors that you know that you need to do. Second step, become aware of or mindful of your internal states and when you do have energy and when you don't have energy, and accept both conditions. And when you don't have energy, commit yourself to doing the actions anyway. Use your willpower to accomplish every single one, and use that slow cascade of like choice after choice after choice to essentially build up into a disciplined state. Okay, number two, hacking your biology. Of course, you can say like, well, I just need the energy and then I would do it. All right. So adrenaline and cortisol and noradrenaline and all of your neurotransmitters and caffeine and blood glucose. These are kind of like the core chemicals for performance and performance focus. So you need to make sure that you are dosing with enough caffeine to carry you through the 6-hour half-life of caffeine. Remember that it takes about 45 minutes to get max plasma, so you want to take enough caffeine like 45 minutes before the match to get on that. The best vectors for caffeine, of course, are coffee and tea. Try to stay away from energy drinks because they spike your blood glucose. Unless it's a healthy energy drink like runtime.gg. Then you want to amp yourself up. So you need to set aside a little bit of time to do the things that you do before the first game, which is, feel the pressure, really soak in the environment, reset yourself back to like square one, and really like center yourself on that kind of like motivation. Why does you want to win the game? And hype yourself up in terms of energy, and that will allow you to conquer your physiology a little bit. But that is nowhere near as effective. I'm telling you, 5% or less impact on performance compared to just simply doing the actions that are necessary to win the game. And that is going to come through mapping those actions, being aware of when you're low energy, accepting the fact that you're low energy, and committing yourself to following through on the behaviors anyway. Because as humans, we have this capability to do something even though we don't feel like it. You need to exercise that capability in a strong way. Good luck. Okay. Do it. Just do it. Anyway. Just do it. Anyway. Okay. Also, Camille, you should go listen to that Shia LaBeouf video before every training. The one that's like, do it, just do it, just do it. That one. You should go listen to that before every match, That'll really amp you up. Nufk says it's the same except from Korea, which is a lot better. I'm not sure what that means. Test says Penguin Speak. Hello, Penguin Speak. What do you think? Should I transfer to EU West or EU North? Is it better there? I don't know. Whatever. You can do whatever you want. I don't have an opinion on EU Northeast or EU West. I played in EU Northeast for a while. Then I transferred to EU West because that's where I am going to be. And, yep, that's about it. Okay. Those are all the questions I have on the call-in. Those are all the questions I have for today, and I appreciate everybody who tuned in, and I appreciate everybody who called in, and thanks for being active in chat. And Y'all are fantastic. Thank you. I'll see you next time. All right, I'm gonna hang out for like a few seconds or a few minutes in the chat and the conversation. So if you have any final questions, let me know. But I'm gonna sit back to do this. Whew, I'm exhausted. After this, I'm gonna go literally peace out and fall asleep. Do you think NA's camp mid style won't be good in the long run when playing Koreans? NA mids don't learn how to hold their own without jungle help, so Korean mids will outlane them as always. No, Korean mids also use jungle help and jungle pressure. And you still don't want to lose mid turret, whether you're a Korean team or not. Mid is in the center of the map. It is the most important lane. Playing through top, while Koreans are good at it, is actually handicapped. There's actually fewer people in the top lane than there are in the bottom lane. And playing through the bottom lane gives you an advantage not just in the vision war, but in the AD carry itemization war as well. So there are just these truths about the game, and the truths are the mid lane is the most important lane to have control over because it's in the middle of the map. If you have priority on the mid lane move, you can reinforce either side. You can choose which way to go first. Of course, it doesn't really matter because the other mid can always choose to go the other direction. So you got to choose well. It has to pay off more. Then there is this statistical reality that there are just simply more people in the bot lane than there are in the top lane. So these are kind of fundamentals about the game. When's the next stream? Probably Monday morning, EU time, Berlin time, early in the morning, like 8:30 or 9. US better than EU North. He's played on both for quite some time. Thanks for the weigh-in there. Glad somebody could give him advice because I couldn't. Piakoni asks, can I ask a question on PM on Facebook fan page? Yes, but I won't get to it probably. Nufk says, do you think NA pros should play? I mean, I'm going to get to it, but probably not going to get to it, just so you know. Do you think that NA pros should play more solo queue? I think the time is long for weight and not as much players, but Faker has 500 solo queue games. Problem with solo queue in North America is the ping is bad and the weight is insane and the quality is low. Yes, of course, they should play more solo queue, but as far as I know, most pros play as much solo queue as they can. It's just that they have an hour and a half wait, queue time. So unless you have a Smurf that's in lower level, you're not going to get the queue times necessary to actually play a ton of games. Whereas in Korea, it's like high-level queues pop instantly. Haxter says good night, and I say good night, good riddance, and good night, and thank you. Ciao. Any fan Emmer asks, sometimes when I'm doing martial arts training, I always want to learn quick, but everyone tells me to be patient. I just don't know. Somehow it feels weird. Patience. Patience, young Padawan. Patience. And speed. Speed and patience. Train hard and trade fast. And be very patient and long term.